Happy Dragon Ball weekend. We are currently one day away from the major Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026 reveals. We also have some additional information in regards to Project Age 1000, the upcoming Dragon Ball game. We'll go ahead and break all that down, but before we do, just a quick reminder, the event is actually going down today. However, they're not necessarily going to be revealing anything too big. They mentioned multiple times before that all the major reveals will be happening the following day, April 19th, tomorrow, right? And they're also going to be broadcasting the entire event over on the Battle Hour 2026 YouTube channel. I will be live streaming as well, so tune into either one. If you guys happen to miss out any of the live streams, I will be uploading all the reveals, so be sure to turn on the post notifications and subscribe if you're new around here. I will greatly appreciate it. The live stream is going to be starting at 1:35 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so that's going to be 3:35 p.m. Central, 4:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it because they've been promoting the heck out of this event. I mean, this next tweet over here, this is an older one. It says 5 days to go. This came out 4 days ago. But it says whether you can go on the site or you are watching live, do not miss the Dragon Ball event this weekend. Are they saying that this is even going to be larger than the recent Japan exclusive event, Genkidama Matsuri? That was huge. That's where we got the reveal of Dragon Ball Age 1000's Dragon Ball Super Beerus anime remake, as well as the continuation of the Dragon Ball Super anime with the Galactic Patrol Saga, aka Moro. That was huge, right? But this time around, they're saying, no, this is going to be the Dragon Ball event. They're just trying to hype this up or gas it up. You know, it is going to be ginormous at the end of the day because every single Dragon Ball game will be here. Fighters, Sparking Zero, Xenoverse, Dokkan Battle, Legends, Geisha Squadra, Fusion World, and Masters, which are the TCG games, and we will talk a little bit more about those in the second half of this video. But moving forward over to the Age 1000 info, shoutouts to Naku for sharing. This is the V-Jump scan. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this is the same one from last month, which I don't think so, because I think it would look completely different. This very well could be a sneak peek for this month's upcoming V-Jump release, because they usually drop the scans around the 21st of every month. Now, I'm betting that since Battle Hour event is happening quite literally tomorrow, whatever they reveal, all that stuff is going to be inside this month's V-Jump scan. The event happening tomorrow, the 19th. The scan's going to come out the 21st, so they could very well apply even more information for any current Dragon Ball game, hopefully Xenoverse 2 DLCs and Age 1000. But again, I feel like it's just going to be a recap of what they're going to be revealing at the Battle Hour 2026, which is tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. We will be going over the scan whenever it does drop. However, I still find this very interesting, so I went ahead and did the bootleg Google English translations. I don't think we're going to be getting anything too major, stuff that we already know. The release date still says to be determined. The Bandai Namco Entertainment, of course, they're going to be the publishers. The genre, still undecided. We don't know anything about this game besides, you know, brief descriptions. Akira Toriyama was actually heavily involved behind this game with the character designing, the world building. John 1000, which is like the fan community name for this character, was developed by Akira Toriyama. It still says, who are you? Is he even from the present timeline, the future? Who knows? We know absolutely nothing. This is going to be on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, you know, the current gen consoles or next gen consoles, however you want to describe them as well as Steam, correct? I don't think this is going to be available on the older consoles, but hey, we just have to wait for even more details in regards to all of that. It's going to be so nice when they start marketing the actual game. I feel like they're going to be doing a little bit more of that after Battle Hour 2026. You know, with the game title, potentially some monthly teaser trailers like what they did with Sparking Zero. I don't think it's going to be going that crazy. Maybe closer or leading up to the release of the actual game. You know what I mean? It's just going to be an epic time. So, it does say brand new game has been subtly announced. Who is this character? Who exactly are you? Even with this current scan, it's just going over the basics, man. A new character appears, designed by Akira Toriyama. A mysterious new game project has begun. What is Age 1000? Age is the calendar of the Dragon Ball world. So Age 1000 is the far future? Interesting. No way. A Saiyan? A human? Even without knowing his true identity, he's a Super Saiyan. Yeah, that's interesting stuff, just because according to Dragon Ball Online, you know, the Earthlings or humans, they're far descendants of Goku and Vegeta, so a lot of, or I guess all of the humans are able to transform into Super Saiyan. The video monitor that popped out of the terminal displayed none other than the Capsule Corporation logo. What kind of connection could that possibly be? I mean, is this a successor to the Xenoverse franchise? It very well could be without using the actual Xenoverse name in the title. Or is this Dragon Ball Online, which, to be fair, Xenoverse is kind of like a spin-off of Online, right? Because they did use a lot of the elements, stuff like that. Xenoverse is a 3D fighting game with the elements of the Dragon Ball Online MMORPG, while Dragon Ball Online is more of the open world exploration MMORPG stuff, right? April 19th and the 20th, that's going to be the Japanese time zones. Again, for the US, it's today and tomorrow. The 19th is where they're doing all the reveals. The global event, Dragon Ball Battle Hour, is being held again this year. Yeah, okay, so this is pretty much it for the scan. But as I mentioned before, we do have some actual information at what they're going to be revealing at Battle Hour 2026, right? So here we have Ito from Bandai Namco Entertainment. It says Battle Hour times, including the newly revealed game Project Age 1000. Fans will finally have their chance to get an overview of this brand new game project. An overview. That's extremely useful. They're not necessarily saying gameplay showcase or playthrough, so don't expect actual gameplay, right? It also depends on when this game is going to be dropping. If it's, you know, early 2027, then maybe we could see a little bit of that. If it's late 2027, which I'm assuming so, then probably we'll be revealing or witnessing some gameplay in the second half of this year. But an overview, that's great, because I went ahead and just searched up the overview description for you guys just to make it a bit easier on my end. It says, an overview for a game is a highly level summary that provides essential information without getting bogged down in minor details. Its primary purpose is to help a player, investor, or reader quickly understand the core experience, scope, and objectives of the game, right? So what the genre is going to be. As I just mentioned, we don't know if it's going to be something similar to Dragon Ball Online with the open world exploration, or more similar to the 3D Xenoverse franchise with a bit of the MMORPG elements, right? So that's going to be extremely useful there. It says key components of a game overview, depending on where the overview is found. In this particular case, it's going to be at Battle Hour 2026. You know, they're going to be talking about it, so that's great stuff there. A brief description of what the game is and its genre, as I just said. A summary of the main actions players perform. Example, explore, fight, loot, upgrade. We still don't even know what John 1000's purpose is in the game. We know he's been developed by Akira Toriyama, the legend, so I'm pretty sure he's going to have a major role in the game. You guys know something similar to Time Patrol Trunks in Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. What if he might be something similar to that, where he's going to be your mentor, so to speak, or you're the main character and he's going to be there tagging along with you. But again, overview, mainly going to be talking about what the player is going to be doing. Will we be able to create a custom character? Based off the Dragon Ball Age 1000's trailer, it kind of depicts that a little bit, just because John 1000 was using the attacks from other cast characters, the Super Dragon Flight from Teen Gohan, the backflip 360 kick that Blue Gogeta used, you know, just attacks from characters that used in the anime or films. So to me, that just screams we'll be able to create our CAC. And then moving forward, it says unique selling points. So what makes the game special or different from others? Which, to be fair, they kind of gave us a little bit of that at the Genki Dama Matsuri events. Again, they heavily implied that Akira Toriyama spent a ton of time behind this game. So that's just basically additional lore to Dragon Ball with the world and characters. A glimpse into the world and the main goal the player is trying to achieve. The objective of the game. What are we going to be doing? How is the story going to be like? Right? So an overview is extremely important. I highly recommend tuning into this. Now down here, it just clarifies what an overview is versus other terms like overview versus review, or overview versus playthrough. As I said before, don't necessarily expect some gameplay because they did not say gameplay showcase or playthrough. They're specifically using the words overview. Why it matters. All right, so this is interesting. This is literally the same boat that we're currently in. For developers, a well-written overview serves as a second hook on store pages such as Steam to entice players who have already been interested by a trailer. That's literally what happens to us. Genki Dama Matsuri, they dropped the Age 1000 trailer. Now we're all interested. So this overview is going to be to solidify if we're going to stick around with this game, or if you're not necessarily too interested, then nah, let me just back off type deal, right? So that's what this is. For researchers or new players, it provides a big picture understanding before diving into technical manuals or deep dive strategies. Woo-hoo-hoo. So again, even though they just simplify things by saying overview, hopefully this brief description of what an overview is for a video game kind of helps and gets you a little bit more excited for what's to come in the future. More specifically, tomorrow's events, right? So the genre of the game, the objectives, the summary of the main actions player, what we're going to be doing as a player, getting more insight of the actual story, campaign, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be nice, man. This is why I've been trying my best to keep up with Age 1000 news, because I am really invested into this game, even though they just dropped a teaser, nothing more, because it does share elements from Xenoverse. It could be Xenoverse 3 or a successor to the Xenoverse franchise, so I'm here for it. Y'all know me, Xenoverse is probably like my favorite Dragon Ball game ever. So moving forward, we do have the title lineups of what they're all going to be talking about. Every single game you see up on screen and anime, because the Super Beers remake is also there. They're going to be talking a little bit more, giving us additional info, maybe revealing some trailers, who knows. So I just want to talk about each one. Now, the TCGs, Masters and Fusion World, again, card games, so they're probably just going to be revealing the next series of cards for each one. Now, I don't necessarily keep up with them all too much, but I do know Fusion World, specifically that TCG, they're currently on their 9th box set. So the next one is going to be the 10th box set, which I believe is called Cross Worlds. So they might be revealing the highest rarity card for box set 10, so on and so forth. I know they did a little bit of that at Genki Dama Matsuri with box set 9, right? They revealed all the secret rares, the leader alt cards. Yeah. So Dragon Ball Legends, Dokkan Battle, they are cool. I always like to tune in to see what they reveal in terms of the next character, but I don't play those games. But it's always a great time just because additional Dragon Ball content. So I know they usually have their major reveals during the anniversary for Legends and Dokkan Battle. Not entirely sure if their anniversaries have ended or if it's even come up just yet. I think Legends just had theirs. So maybe they're just going to be scratching the surface for the mobile games, like barely talking about them. Probably revealing some characters, because I feel like, you know, from someone who doesn't necessarily play the games, looking from the outside, Legends and Dokkan Battle, they get like character updates or drops every 2 weeks or so. So that's probably going to be happening at the events. Genki Squadra, or Gekushin Squadra, the mobile game. I know they just recently dropped Season 4. Maybe not recently, but, you know, a couple months ago. I think God Goku was the first playable character. And then God Vegeta, I think, dropped about a week ago or two. So Kid Buu, they're probably going to be revealing his character trailer at Battle Hour. Here we have the Season 4 trailer. It's crazy how, to me at least, Season 4 just started. And it's already here with the final character. So definitely probably expect a Kid Buu reveal at the event, just because I believe he's supposed to be dropping in the next several days, the 21st of April. Yeah. So yeah, that could be fun. I do like his, animations right here. Let's go! Xenoverse 3! That's me when Xenoverse 3 is gonna happen. I just think the art and look of Kid Buu here is hilarious. He is raging. Yeah, so that's pretty much what they have going for Gekidama Matsuri, Gekushin Squadra, right? Next, we do have Sparking Zero. They revealed several months ago DLC 4 is on the horizon. Let's put this to 1080p because the quality is horrendous. Twitter quality is usually very bad. But they revealed all the characters. We're going to be getting how many? 9 characters from this pack. Super 17, you can see there. We've talked about this many times before. We're going to be getting additional stages, game modes, super attacks, outfits. We got the BoJack Teen Trunks right there. Dual Gallic Kamehameha for Goku. We're also going to be getting a free updates here soon. Survival mode, because they recently dropped Mission 100. Survival mode is next, and then after survival mode, it's going to be DLC 4. It's interesting because what are they going to be revealing at Battle Hour? Because they essentially revealed everything with the first DLC 4 trailer. Unless there's going to be even more characters, even more playable stages, more game modes. To be fair, the game mode that's shown here, we don't even know what it's going to be about. Maybe something similar to the Budokai 3 Dragon Universe, or Budokai Tenkaichi 2, you know, Dragon Open World Exploration type deal, which I think is just going to be that, to be honest. It very well could be different. Right here, new mode, you can see the map, the characters that you probably get to fight, and then the exclamation points, probably just picking up capsules. But if we get to fly around this map here, then, dude, that's already a 10 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 for me. I can barely speak. Did you guys drop a like on today's video yet? So yeah, they might just do a recap of what they already revealed, which I hope that's not the case. Next on the list is Dragon Ball FighterZ. Dude, they teased the Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. So first of all, they invited Rhymestyle, Dadodoya, and Ndakuba, the GOATs, the legends within the Dragon Ball gaming space. And they got to react to the trailer. I think they even got to play, because I do see Dadodoya wielding a control. Dude, he's pressing them inputs. That's fun. That's cool. So I do expect some type of gameplay showcase from these guys and Bandai after the Battle Hour events. Not too sure if that's confirmed or not, but, you know, maybe that could be a thing, because they used to do this in the past. They usually fly out the content creators back in the day, and then they would live stream and showcase whatever DLC they're usually covering. At the time was a lot of Xenoverse 2, so maybe this could be something similar to that. But yeah, this teaser goes kind of crazy. I don't play fighters like that. Of course, don't get me wrong, whenever there's a new character or season pass, I always boot up the game, try out the characters, because it's always fun. Art system works. The developers behind fighters, they're like top tier developers. But man, this is just too hype. Just watch this if you haven't already.
Daima character from Fighters?
Stop!
What?
Is that real?
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm gonna pass out! You just knew it was gonna be something different. Wow, this is the best looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, he's hype. No, that's fire, bro.
You just knew!
I'm gone. I'm gone.
Dude, every attack is so cinematic.
We're going.
Oh!
Based off the reactions, he's going to be the best character in the entire game. But I'm extremely looking forward to this. Again, not a massive Fighters player, but dude, it's going to be top tier stuff. The dramatic finisher, they have to include. I'm sure they will, but who against? That's the question. Because dramatic finishers for Fighters, they're like stuff that happened in the anime, so you have to go up against a very specific opponents. I don't think Goma's going to be in Fighters unless they do drop an entire season pass, which I've said before. I think a great season pass would be Daima Goku, Daima Vegeta, Super Saiyan 3, Beast Gohan, Orange Piccolo, just because we don't have any of the superhero movie characters, Gamma 1 and 2 as well, why not? And that's basically, of course, you could add more characters from Dragon Ball GT, which I'm sure a lot of people would like, but are they going to be doing a season pass? That's the thing, because they just revealed Daima Goku. It could just be a one standalone character this time around, but this is why we have to tune into Battle Hour 2026 for all of the major reveals. Next, we do have Xenoverse 2 Future Saga Chapter 4. The build up to Age 1000. No, I'm playing. Hopefully that's the case, but just specifically talking about Xenoverse 2, yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Chapter 3 was probably the best DLC within the Future Saga storyline, with USV Golden Frieza, who is the other character? Broly, Wrathful Broly. Yeah, it's been a while. Bear with me. So I always say to myself, who could they do that's an even bigger threat than USV Supreme Kai of Time Edition Golden Frieza? Now, the only information that we have for this game or DLC pack currently is the info on the Steam website, which is nothing crazy. The release window, July, August, or September 2026. And it says the fourth chapter in the Future Saga series depicts an unprecedented alteration of history, includes a new playable character, and more. Are we only going to be getting one character? According to this description, it says so, but do keep in mind it's just a placeholder description. They're not going to be giving us all the details until they reveal the upcoming trailer, right? So, can't necessarily talk too much about this DLC just because we don't know what's going to happen, what it's going to consist of in terms of the content, the trajectory of the storyline. I know a lot of people have been theorizing the build up to Age 1000, as I just previously said, which would be our best case scenario, in my personal opinion, just because I really do want Age 1000 to be Xenoverse 3. And that's basically it for the title lineup. I know Age 1000 is right there, but I just recently talked a little bit about it. Stay tuned for that overview, according to Ito, Bandai Namco Entertainment. Now, just to go over the description real quick, Battle Games, or Battle Hour 2026, what's going to be going down later today. They're going to be screening the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, and there's even going to be a Dragon Ball game producer special match for Gekisen Squadra. So, as I said before about Season 4, Kid Buu, maybe they might drop the Kid Buu trailer later today after the producer special match, which I could see it both ways. They could, or maybe they won't, because the following day they're also going to be, talking about Gekishin Squadron, right? During the Battle Hour Times panel. So that's most likely when they're going to be dropping the Kid Buu reveal, if it's even Kid Buu. So that's basically it for day one. As I mentioned before, nothing too special going down today. But of course, if you are attending, have fun. An epic Dragon Ball event. Dude, I wish I could be there, not going to lie. Day 2, the first thing that's going to happen is the Dragon Ball FighterZ Masters Showdown, 9 a.m. Again, I'm assuming this is going to be Pacific Standard Time just because it's being held in California. Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, in regards to that Super Saiyan 4 Goku Daima teaser trailer, I'm pretty sure they're going to be dropping the full trailer after this Masters Showdown. Now, do keep in mind, the Masters Showdown is going to be going for a very long time, I think throughout the entire day. So it's going to start at 9. However, this is going to be another one, the Masters Showdown Finals at, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time. So this is where most likely they're going to be dropping the Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku trailer, right? After everything else, essentially. In between that, they're going to be doing the Dragon Ball Super special panel. That's going to be happening at 1:15 p.m. And then after that, we're going to be getting the Battle Hour Times panel, where they're going to be displaying all the Dragon Ball games. So, Xenoverse 2, do expect Future Saga Chapter 4 reveals, Shigeki Squadra, the Kid Buu trailer, or Season Pass 4 announcement, whatever. Sparking Zero with the DLC 4 reveals, and new game Project Age 1000 with that overview. Now, I'm assuming the order of when they're going to be talking about each specific game is what's currently on screen. So first, the TCG games, Masters and Fusion Worlds, then the mobile games, Legend, and then Xenoverse 2, then Dokkan Battles, then Gekishin Squadra, Sparking Zero, and Age 1000. So the big two for last, Sparking Zero, Age 1000. Well, obviously, I do consider Xenoverse 2 DLC Chapter 4 to be a major reveal, so it should have been Xenoverse 2, Sparking Zero, and Age 1000 to be the last three. But they got Gekishin Squadra just because it's probably a later game, one of the more recent ones. We're going to be live streaming the entire, not necessarily the entire event, because Master Showdown, that's cool and all, but again, not, the biggest Fighters fan. So I'll probably start live streaming around the same time as the Beerus Super panel, right? And then we'll go through the Battle Hour Times, all that good stuff. We got some more cards for the TCGs, and that's essentially it. Just wanted to talk a little bit more about the upcoming events and the additional info that we got from Ito. Shout out to Bandai Namco Entertainment, the overview. So now it kind of narrows things down in terms of what's to expect for Age 1000. Woo, it's going to be a great time. This is it for today's episode. Thank you guys for the immense support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace!